That always gets me juiced. I love that it turned out really well.
Yeah, except the one time they call me Badini. But
I didn't even realize that.
Badini. So it's my deal with telemarketers, man. Every time a telemarketer calls me, they say, "Is this Bew?" I'm like, "No, it rhymes with Joe."
That's awesome. All right. Well, we're talking a little bit off camera for those that are here. Welcome in this week. We are going to have a little bit of a layout here. We're going to talk about some English soccer team. Bo's going to do a little mail day review or reveal, I should say. And then we're going to talk about some football players that have cards that have dipped pretty significantly that I think are potential buys right now before they start to go back up. Hey, welcome in, Joel. Thanks for joining us. So that's kind of the layout of the show. We're talking off. Last night was a great way to kick off the NBA season. What a great first game of the year between Houston and OKC. Shea showing why he was MVP with I'd have to look back, but I want to say it was like 12 or 13 points with maybe 5 minutes to go in the game, and ends up with 32 points. Just strapped that team to his back and willed them to victory. So it was a lot of fun. All the stars came out. Alperen Sengun, who I think is one of my picks this year for a huge breakout, led the Rockets in scoring, and he looks primed and ready this year to have a big year. So you might want to get into his cards early before the playoffs come around, because I have a sneaking suspicion you're going to see a spike in his cards this year. But
yeah.
All right, let's get into some soccer.
Okay.
What do you got for us, Bo?
Okay, so we'll talk about the English national team. I'm going to get this thing ready to screen share. Let's see. Share screen. Window. Boom. Boom. Okay, view slideshow. All right, so we've got the English national soccer team. I made one of these last time, but for some reason we were on the French one, but we were unable to get it to work. But we met up a week ago to get this thing hammered out, so we won't have that problem again. So the English national soccer team ranked number 4 in the world. They've only won the World Cup one time. That was 1966 when it was actually in England. So they had the home field advantage and they won it. Soccer is bigger than anything in England. I think that these might be some of your safer investments if you want to just take some flyers on some players from one of the European powerhouses, because these guys are like secondhand names. I was actually in England in 2002 while the World Cup was going on. I had no intention of going to a World Cup or anything, but I ended up in some of the bars, some of the pubs in England while England was playing. And I've never seen anything like it in my life. I mean, there was beer flying all over the room. They had all these songs that they were singing, and they were running into each other, and every freaking flag. I mean, every window of every apartment of every house in the entire town. And I was in Liverpool for one of them and London for another one. It was just British English flags everywhere. I had never seen anything like it in my life. 4 years later, I was in Mexico when the World Cup was going on, and it was very similar. I mean, it just kind of shows that this is the biggest sporting event in the world. These guys are considered celebrities, basically. A lot of your stars on the English soccer team are considered celebrities. And you've got the paparazzi in England, which makes them even more celebrities. So, like David Beckham, when he married the Spice Girl, that was like the biggest news in England for a while, and they were chasing them around all over the place. I think that he lives in America now just to try to stay away from all the cameras. They also have some really funny football chants. There's YouTube videos about all the British football chants that they do at the games, and I always thought this one was funny. Your teeth were offside. Your teeth were offside. Luis Suarez, your teeth were offside. The offside penalty is like it's one of the hardest things for people who aren't soccer watchers to understand. Let's pretend we scored a goal. The whole 50,000 people screaming this stuff. I would bet, and Chad will probably agree with me, that Jude Bellingham is your number one pick that is currently on the English national team. He's only 22 years old. He plays for Real Madrid on the club level, and then he's on the English national team. He's widely considered as one of the best soccer players in the world. If anybody watched the Euro last summer, I forget who it was that England beat. It was one of the other European powerhouses where he had that reverse bicycle kick that he put in the corner of the net to win the game. It was the coolest goal I saw the whole year. And he's a midfielder, but he still scores a lot. His rookie year is the 2020. They are fairly easy to find. In comparison to the other guys, you can get Jude Bellingham rookies fairly easily without having to deal with international shipping. I find the other guys is a little more tricky. I was looking at these guys, and most of the people selling it were in Europe. Harry Kane, he is the MVP. The captain of the English team. He's also the striker, which means the forward and the center for Bayern Munich. 2015 was his rookie year. I bought both of these two cards from a guy at a table in the VIP room at the National. He gave me I got them for dirt cheap. He just didn't want them, and I'm like, I'll take them. And one's the auto, numbered out of 52, and then this Renaissance card. According to what people are saying, 2026 will likely be his last World Cup appearance. Cole Palmer, he's real young. Considered one of the best attacking midfielders in the world. He plays for Chelsea and the English national team. Chelsea won the Club World Cup this past summer, and Palmer was arguably the best player on the team. Every game I watched, he was the one scoring the goals. I got both of these autographs from that same guy at the National in the VIP room that he just had, table full of stuff. And then I've gotten a few of the rookies on eBay. And I don't think I had to deal with international shipping on those. Phil Foden, I don't have any cards of his, but I need to get some. 2018 is his rookie year. He's midfielder for Manchester City and the English national team. He won the Premier League's Young Player of the Year award in 21 and 22. And then here's some prospects. The first guy, Miles Lewis-Skelly, he's a defender that they think very, very highly of, but I just don't think defenders do very well in the card market. It's kind of worse than investing in a pitcher that's not named Paul Skeens. But he is a bit of a celebrity. You could probably make some money on him if he got playing a lot of playing time next summer. Robbie Mainoo, 2023 rookie midfielder from Manchester United. Ethan Nwaneri, 2024 rookie. He's the winger midfielder for Arsenal. And I actually bought this card right here. I took a screenshot of it and I sent the guy an offer, and he accepted it within minutes when I was putting this together. But Archie Gray, I believe, is their number one prospect, the one that they are they see the most potential in, at least from what I've read so far. He's a midfielder for Tottenham Hotspur. I believe he played for Leeds earlier, and it was like a $30 million transfer thing to get him moved over to the other team. That's all that I've got for England. That's probably going to be my last presentation of just a team, although I am planning on doing one on the American team, even though they most likely are not going to make it to the knockout rounds. But since we're American, I'll do one of those in another month or so. But we are going to look at other players that are kind of like one-offs, like Erling Haaland, for example. I don't think you're going to invest in anybody on the Haaland team besides him. Or that guy, what's the guy's Salah that plays for Egypt. There's a few of them where there's one great guy on a team, and I'll put together one of those for our next meeting.
Yeah, with my with the last World Cup, when the last World Cup I had, I went into a lot of soccer. I had, gosh, probably 100+ graded soccer cards for the last World Cup, and some other players. And it seemed to me like, and I wasn't sure why, because I'm not a. First of all, I hate the game of soccer. I can't.
Oh, really?
I can't stand watching it. I'd rather watch paint dry. It's that and hockey to me are just boring. But I like making money, so I invest in hockey cards and I invest in soccer cards. So I know players and I know how to make money on them, but I just don't like watching the games. Tennis is the same way. But a couple of other, what it seemed like to me was England had the most, I don't know if it was marketable or liquid players. Like they had the most players that you could buy soccer cards for of all the teams.
Yeah.
I mean, even though Argentina and Brazil and Spain, those are the ones that, knock down the World Cup. They're always in the finals, and their cards don't sell well. But England,
yeah.
I mean, in addition to the players that you mentioned, you got Marcus Rashford. I've done well with his cards. You got Bukayo Saka. I've done well with his cards. And you've got Declan Rice. I've done well with his cards. So when you do that with the 4 prospects you mentioned, and then you got Foden and Bellingham, and you just
Kane.
have, what's that?
And Kane.
I mean, you've got, what is that? Eight players that you can, that's unheard of, almost.
And they're all celebrities, in England. They're all like Steph Curry.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a market for each and every one of these guys, which is why I think, even though England is not the favorite to win, England is the team that you can potentially make the most money on flipping cards, because they have such a huge following and there's so many investable players on the England soccer team. So,
and the
football team.
Yeah. Most of the best sets, I think, are like at the Premier League set. A lot of them, and that's all in United Kingdom, So it's kind of weird that Bellingham plays in Madrid, but I'm sure he's not complaining about it. They're great, and he's got Mbappe right next to him,
Yeah. So my experience with flipping, if just for people to make money, you can get some mosaic cards will perform okay. Some Merlin cards will perform okay, but the safest, most liquid, easily flippable cards seem to be the Topps Chrome. Topps Chrome was the ones that I did probably the best on, along with the National Treasures. The National Treasures autos and patch cards, soccer people just love that. Obsidian, I love Obsidian. No matter what sport it is, I think Obsidian cards are cool looking.
Mm.
Obsidian cards, I lost money on almost every Obsidian card I bought for soccer at the last World Cup.
Oh, wow.
I don't know why. I had the right players. I had the right cards of the right players, and Obsidian just does not sell very well. First of all, it doesn't grade well. So that was part of the problem. I got a lot of 7s, 8s, and 9s. I had, I think, only 110 out of, I don't know, 30 Obsidian cards that I had graded. Obsidian is obscenely hard to grade. But just a word to the wise, if you don't know anything about soccer and you're gonna follow some of these plays and try and dabble in it, stick with the Topps Chrome and the National Treasures. Those seem to be the most liquid cards here in America.
Okay. Yeah, I just got an Obsidian Erling Haaland about a few days ago. It looks real nice, and it's
Love
numbered.
the Obsidian. Obsidian might be my favorite card to collect for my PC because they're so cool looking, but they grade so poorly.
Yeah. Let me show off some mail stuff real quick before you do your...
let's do a mail day review.
One thing that I think is really interesting, I don't know if any of you are buying the Topps Bowman U Now football stuff. I've been buying a lot of it. And today my Jordan Tyson 20-pack came in the mail today. And now they send you a little invoice. And it tells you how many lucky hits you got. And it says here, it's a 20-pack. It says I got 6 lucky hits out of 20. So I got 6 parallel. I haven't looked at it. I just got it on the mailbox like 15 minutes ago. So we'll see. We'll see how I did on these with these 20-pack. Okay, so I got a gold 44 out of 50. And he's arguably supposed to be one of the first receivers picked in the draft. I got another gold. Well, they lied to me, Chad. Oh, wait, no, I got 4 image variations. So I got 2 golds and 4 image variations. And then the rest are the base. So that's pretty good, I guess. I've done better. Like on my Lenora Sellers, I got a 1 out of 5 and a 3 out of 10. But I've pretty much gotten at least one nice parallel out of every Bowman U football order that I've done this year. I did a 10-pack of the Messi. They said it was his last game ever in Argentina. So I thought I'd get a 10-pack of that, and then I saw that there was like 15,000 of those bought. So there's no way I was going to get a parallel. Just like on the Otani, and I got suckered into buying that a couple days ago. But I'm good luck getting a parallel of that. Was it 253,000 copies were bought? I think. Yeah.
That's why when everybody asked if I was going to buy into that, I said no, because I want that card for my PC, but I'm going to wait until everybody gets them graded, and I'm going to buy a PSA 10 for about $20, less than the cost of grading.
Yeah.
I just don't know as though there's any money to be made on that card, because I figured that was going to have such a huge print run.
I think I'm going to take 15 of them to GameStop as soon as the order comes in to try to move them as quickly as possible. And then I might send 3 to 5 of them to Beckett just to see if I can luck out and get a black label. I'm going to inspect the hell out of them and try to figure out which of these look the nicest. But it's a gamble, but I figured I'd give it a shot.
My opinion on if I had ordered 20 of them, my play would have been on them to try and flip them raw as fast as possible, maybe even pre-list them and pre-sell them, which I absolutely despise and hate. But I think you could pick up $3 to $5 a card, because I'm guessing they're probably going to sell for $8 to $10 initially. And I don't think that there's going to be $3 to $5 profit in those unless you get a black label. I just think you're throwing money away on trying to grade that card, because there's so many of them.
You don't think like whoever's first to the market for like that week will do okay?
Sure, but you're going to have some people that are probably going to spend the $39 a card, so that you're going to see them show up in a week or two, and you're going to be like, how in the hell did they get that card back so fast?
Yeah.
Well, they paid extra for it. And then those cards are probably going to sell for $60 or $65 because they were the first 10s, right? And then the other ones are going to start trickling in. And by the time everybody gets them back in 4 to 6 to 8 weeks, by then there's going to be a dozen or more sales. And I think you're going to have a hard time getting $30 to $35 a piece for them, because there's going to be so many of them. Yeah. That's just my opinion.
I might just take your advice and just move them, try to move them wrong.
I would,
Okay, I
if
also
you
got-
wanted to do a couple of them, if you think there's a couple that are the nicest and go for the Black Label, that's a play because the Black Label's gonna, probably sell for $70 to $90 when it comes back if you can get a Black Label. But I just think the PSA play is dead on that card.
Okay. So I thought I was going to I bought 6 Talon Green autos this week. I thought I was going to have one in the mail today, but I didn't. I'm an Arkansas fan. I grew up in Arkansas, but he plays better than anybody that loses. Other than that Notre Dame game when they just got slaughtered. But he put up 42 points against Texas A&M, the number 4 team in the nation last week, and he's got like 400 yards passing and running for 100 yards, and he looks just like the greatest athlete in playing quarterback to me. He throws a few picks. He's not. Sometimes he doesn't do his reads properly, but I got a feeling that he's gonna end up being a first-round pick. We'll see, but I just got a hunch they're gonna be like, this guy. He's the second fastest quarterback in college football, and then with all the other athletic ability he's got, he can throw a deep ball. I got good feelings about him, but I'm a little biased. I got a Makai Lemon. That's another one of your receivers that is likely to be a first-round pick. I've been buying some Messi. I got this one for cheap. And I've been buying Lauren Betts. I still think she's probably the first pick in the WNBA draft. It's really hard to find her autos that look like they could gem. Like every single one on eBay was way off sides. Yeah, I've got 2 of them at PSA, but there's like a little scratch. I mean, it just seems I've given up on those. These came in yesterday, and I think you'd be proud of this one, Chad, because this is all from you, my friend.
Nice, the ice.
Yeah, I'm thinking about using these 3 cards in a PSA order with more expensive to speed things up. Got the numbered Julian Sayin from Panini Instant, and then the Colt Emerson Refractor auto. I keep trying to get, I'm a Cardinals fan, and I keep trying to get that JJ Weatherholt. I put a Snipes in. I've had like 8 Snipes in on the app I use, and I have failed every single time trying to get it for like $130, and it's like, no, you ain't getting it for $130. But
yeah, so a couple of things. Seeing your Messi card reminds me there is a third very popular soccer card, and that is the Prism. The Prism World Cup cards sell very, very well. If it's not a rookie card, the Prism World Cup has that draw. That's a very, very liquid card. So the 2014 sells really, really well. 2018 sells pretty well as well. The JJ Weatherholtz, what I've noticed so far, Bo, is typically in years past, by right now, you would see baseball cards dipping hard. I've seen some, but I haven't seen it to the level that I would like to see it yet. So I have a whole list of baseball players that I want to buy this offseason. I have not bought none, because I haven't, unless they're already graded. I haven't found the deals on them yet.
I did buy some of those international Bowman Chrome prospects that Eric in our Discord was recommending.
Yeah,
those are the coolest looking cards, man. I'd never seen them before, but those are neat.
Yeah, Eric has been a wealth of information in the Discord. We should try and get him on sometime. He might be smarter than either one of us.
Yeah. You should watch his Whatnot shows. They're incredible.
Oh, is Eric the Whatnot guy you were telling me about? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Mr.
We
Hop.
should.
It's Mr. Hop on Whatnot.
You'll have to message it to me. I'll have to check him out. Yeah, he seems very, very connected. So very good wealth of information. wanted to give you an update. Remember, I think you were with me when I bought this card at the National, correct?
I was with you when you were shopping for it, but you had not made the purchase yet.
Okay. Well, I guess that camera doesn't zoom in very well. But anyways, I've had to soak and re-soak this card 4 times. I've never had to do it more than once. But this card, this card, why can't I get there we go. This card had a very big crease all the way through the center of it. It had 2 huge black marks on the top, and it was filthy as could be. I'm very excited to say that the crease is gone. The color has come back. There's one small little black mark left on the top that I can't get rid of. But that card has come a long, long ways. It's taken me, well, since the end of July, it's taken me 3 months. I've never spent 3 months on a card, but it's Hank Aaron. It's Hank Aaron. I'm taking my time and I'm being patient because there's no rush for it. But I am so excited as to this was probably a PSA 1 when I bought it. And I'm thinking that it's got a shot at maybe a 3.5 or a 4 now. So that has probably added at least $200 to $300 worth of value to that card. So it took me a while, but I'm very happy with it. I'm going to put this back up on the bottom of the screen over on Instagram. 8th Inning Stretch has joined us and just sharing out some information for our viewers. If anybody sees this, 8th Inning Stretch is looking for 1991 wild card 1000 stripe Kansas City Chief card. So if anybody has any, hit up 8th Inning Stretch on Instagram. I'll have to go through. I'm sure I have some because I think I've got a 5,000 count box of stripe cards.
Oh wow!
But finding them in my sea of boxes and then going through them, I'll get to it sometime here. But that's another day. If you could see how I have these cards in boxes and closets, you would understand why my wife thinks I'm crazy.
Yeah.
You'd also understand how it adds up to 1 million plus cards. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's get started with some football dips. Now, we're going to do this a little bit differently than we've done in the past. I'm not going to be putting up I'm actually going to do this live. I'm going to go right into Market Movers and I'm going to pull these up live one at a time. I don't have them pre-screened where I just pull up the screen and then delete the screen. We're going to do these live. So let's pull up Market Movers here. All right. Share screen. Market Movers dashboard. Oh, and that is an Ohtani card. That's not where we're going here, folks. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull up 2018 Prism base card 212 Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson is a very interesting play right now, as the Ravens are off to one of the worst starts that they've done in years, right?
Yeah.
They've been god awful. They were expected to win the division, and now they might finish last. All right. So does that come up okay?
Yes.
All right. So if we take a look at this in the last 30 days, take a look at what Lamar Jackson's base Prism has done. The card started out $350 range. It hit a $365 high, and it's down to $260. That's down 25% in the last 30 days. These mid-season lulls are where you can really find some deals. If you stretch it out 60 days, it's down 18%. Stretch it out 90 days, it's down 17%. You go 180 days, it's up 4% from 180 days ago. But when you look at one year ago, like take a look at this. So if you remember, he started out a little bit slow, and then as the year goes on, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens build. They get better, they get better. And here in the midst of the playoffs last year, what happened? That card hit $450. And now you're looking at a card that's at $260. So if you are a believer that Lamar Jackson can and will turn things around when he comes back and gets healthy, that is a card that has plenty of room to grow. All right, let's take a look at another Lamar Jackson card. One we're going to look at.
What would be your buy price on that one? Do you think? Like, what would you aim to try to get that for?
Well, I think his cards are probably at a low right now.
So buying them right now.
So I would. It depends on how long he's going to be out. I haven't seen if he's going to be back anytime soon. I would want to buy that card at whatever price I could get it at before he returns. When he returns, if he returns and he rushes for 2 touchdowns and throws for 2 more, it's going to draw attention to him, and those cards are going to skyrocket. So, I mean, ideally, the last sale was $260. Could you find one for $250-ish? $250, $275? If he comes back and they make another run to the playoffs, the card was $450 less than a year ago in the playoffs. So if they can get back, get healthy, and start making some noise, that's a card that could, at $260, that's a card you could pick up $100 to $200 in 3 months, 2 months, 3 months, just for buying it and holding it.
Yeah.
So now we're going to take a look. This is his Optic Holo. And this is why I like the Prism. So take a look at his Optic Holo. His Optic Holo down 18% in 30 days, 30% for 60 days, then 22%, and then you go out to a year, and it's up 4%. So just like the Prism base was up about 3-4% on the year, so is the Optic Holo, but it's a much less expensive option typically than your Prism Silvers anyways. It's more expensive than the base, but this Optic Holo, $679 currently. And last year in the playoffs, when he hit the playoffs, that card was $874. So there again, it's down about $200. It's down about $200 since the playoffs of last year. So if you like Lamar, those are a couple of cards that are down big that you could target. All right, let's take a look at another one here. We're going to look at my man Burrow.
Right.
So you just saw where Lamar's Optic Holo prices were, right? Lamar's Optic Holo price was $679. Burrow's is at $300. Is Lamar Jackson $300, $350 better than Joe Burrow? I know 18 is a little bit more. This has got a pop of 1,800, and that had a pop of like 300. So that Obviously, that has a plays a part in it, but just from a dollars and cents standpoint, this card's down to $300, down 21% on 60. It's down 37% from 60 days. And then when you look at it's down 10% from a year ago. If you remember, the Bengals started out terrible last year, then came on towards the end of the year. There again, his card was 350, 370 in January a year ago. And it's sitting at 300 right now. So that is a card that is down that you could target. If Flacco can just keep them afloat and he can make it back by week 15, 16 and make a playoff run, look out for what these cards could do.
You think he'll play this season?
I do.
Okay.
If Flacco can keep them afloat, I think he comes back and plays this season. Here's his silver prism. Take a look at his silver prism. I almost had one of these on Fanatics Collect on Sunday night. I was the bridesmaid. I was the runner-up. I just missed it. It was, matter of fact, I think it was this sale. No, that wasn't that one there. It was this sale right here. But anyways, if you can see right now the way that this card is falling off a cliff, on the 11th of September, which is only 5 weeks ago, this card sold for $1,994. The most recent sale is $1,080.
Wow.
So it's literally almost down 50% in the last 6 weeks. So that is a card that right now you could take a look at. Here's another one. Here's his color match. I bought this card at the National, and then I traded it and flipped it right away to my good friend Logan. I don't remember what I traded it for, but I traded it for something.
Yeah,
something that I really wanted.
They're in second place right now. I mean, it's 3 wins, 4 losses, but
right. So now here's his disco, which is it's an orange background card, which is a color match. I'm a sucker for a color match. This card's down 25% in the last 30 days, 27% in the last 60. It's up almost 5% from a year ago. But there again, take a look at this card here right before the National. This card sold for $491. The last sale now is starting on the uptick is $315. The sale before that was $285. If you can get that card around that $300 price range, that's a fun card to take a look at. But now here's why let me just show you something that's even more interesting, okay?
Right on.
This might surprise you a little bit. His base prism. Okay. So we just looked at his silver, we looked at the disco, and we looked at his optic hollow. Take a look at his base prism in the last 30 days. It's up 9%.
Oh.
The last 60 days, it's down 27, but in the last 30 days, it's up 9%. So that tells me that people are already starting to look at Burrow as he could be back in December. So they're already starting to look at Burrow, and I think his prices you might see his prices stabilize or start to tick up a little bit. When you see the lesser expensive cards starting to move up, it's an indicator that the rest of his stuff might not be following too far behind. All right, let's take a look at another one. We're going to take a look at CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb was just out with injury, right?
Mm-hmm.
Came back and had a monster game this last weekend. Look at his chart here. 30 days, just down and to the right, down 39% in 30 days, down 40% in 30 days. His optic hollow is all the way down to $67 for a player of his caliber. That seems criminal to me. There's 60 days, there's 90 days. The 1 year average, it's down from a year ago. That's how low this card is right now. It's down from a year ago. $67. There's nowhere to go but up for this card. If you can get this card for, in that $60-$70 range, snap to buy it now in a hurry. Use the last comps to your advantage if you're at a card show or you're online. This is a card that is instant profit. And then, as I said, I'm a sucker for color match here. So here's a light blue, kind of a color match with the blue and silver. His prism, take a look at this. In the last 30 days, this card here is down 51% in 30 days. This is what injuries can do, mid-season injuries can do to players, card prices, along with the Cowboys not playing real well. 51% in 30 days.
I saw it on the internet.
51% in 60 days. It's down 10% on, from year over year. I think CeeDee Lamb is going to have a solid year, so I can't imagine these prices getting any cheaper. But then now here's an interesting one again that I found interesting. When you go to his base card, his base prism, if I can type, take a look at his base prism. Last 30 days, up and to the right. That's up 40%. Does that make any sense at all? The light blue color match prism is down 57% in 30 days, and the base prism is up 40%.
Yeah.
This card the base sold for $70, and that color match light blue, which had a fraction of the pop count, was only 140. It was only twice as much. So it's up 16% in 60 days, and it's up 40% from a year ago. So stay away from the base prism on CeeDee Lamb, because that's not the card you want to be buying.
Yeah. I heard that I don't believe it, but I saw yesterday, I live kind of in cowboy country, that they were trying to trade for Max Crosby, that they were trying to make some big deal. And I'm like, ooh. I'm a Raiders fan, so I hope that doesn't happen, but they're trying, evidently.
All right, let's take another look at another very popular player right now.
Speaking of the Raiders, he's struggling though. He hasn't played, I don't think, maybe the first game.
Right. So take a look at his prices here. So in the last 30 days, he's about flat for the last 30 days. But 60 days he's down 5%. And on the year he's down 77. Of course, that's because they came out in February. So I would throw those early sales out and do the last 6 months. It's down 28% since April, or down 41% since July. That is, when he's not playing, that's what happens to your cards. You just
And Geno Smith is terrible, man. He's absolutely horrible. It might be next year before Brock Bowers gets his skill set back where we see it on a weekly basis. I don't know. I just think Geno Smith's so bad.
So
Sorry.
if you take a look at take a look at his downtown. His downtown is down 16% in 30 days, 11% in 60 days, 20% in 90 days. That's a much more expensive card, but
Yeah.
that's down quite a bit too.
I made out like a bandit with that red Pandora last spring when it first came out. I got a 10 on it, and I sold it for way more than I thought it'd sell for. But
yeah, let's take a look at the red Pandora. Red Pandora.
Oh my Lord.
$42 right now for a PSA 10.
I sold one for $410 back in like February.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, just look at these, down 65% in the last 2 weeks. That was a $75 card 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Wow.
So his stuff has dropped significantly. Now let's take a look at Malik Neighbors. Neighbors is out for the season, right?
Yeah.
So that usually gives you good buying opportunities, because I think Neighbors is going to be a star in the NFL. He's going to be a high volume.
Yeah. It's like LSU is a breeding ground for badass wide receivers, man. I mean, that's where they come from. Ohio State too, but those LSU boys.
So you're down 26% in 30 days, 22% in 90 days, 15% in 90 days. His downtown is heading in the right direction if you want to get into a downtown. I think my experience is when you have an injured player like this, oftentimes when the season is over, people start thinking about next season already, and his prices are going to probably start climbing in February, March, because people are going to start speculating, oh, he was injured, his cards are cheap. And what's going to start happening is his prices are going to start inching up. So you don't want to wait until the end of the season to get in on him. You want to do it now while nobody's thinking about him. That's my experience. So if you do Silver Prism, no, I might wait on the Silver Prisms because those are relatively new yet. But so it's up 32% in the last 14 days, up 67% in the last 30 days, down 27% in 60, down 29% in 90. But so you can see right here, that card bottomed out the end of September, first week of October, and look at what's happening here. That card is already on the upward swing. So like I was talking about, you wait too long on these players that are injured, and a lot of times people start going, hey, I'm going to go where they ain't. I'm going to go towards this injured guy. And next thing you know, you aren't getting a deal on it because everybody was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. I bet that has a fairly low gem rate too. I bet there's not a whole lot of 10s out there.
There aren't.
Yeah.
The gem rate on it is like 21% or something like that. So it's not terrible, but
it's better than my gem rate with Prism Football.
So here's an interesting one. Hall of Famer out for the season.
Oh, I didn't know that he was out. I mean, I saw him get hurt, but I didn't know.
Well, he might make it back in time for playoffs, but he broke his collarbone.
Oh,
so with a broken collarbone, they're saying he's out, probably 8 to 10 weeks.
Yeah.
Being it's already week 8, that puts you around if he heals quickly, that puts you around week 16, 17, 18. So if they make the playoffs, he might be able to make a playoff push. But here's a player that is an absolute, more than likely, first ballot Hall of Famer. His numbers speak for themselves. And look at this card here. I mean, down 11%, down 20% in the last 60. This card is dropping $45 for a PSA 10 rookie card. Now I know it's a base, but look at the pop count. It's under 1,000 for pop count because it's a 2014. And then when you compare it to, so that's his Topps Chrome, which I prefer the older cards. I prefer the Chrome to the Prism. But take a look at this. This might shock you a little bit. While the Topps Chrome card is down, take a look at his Prism card. His base Prism card, look at that. That card is shooting up. It's up 64% in 30 days, 120% in 60 days, and 150% in 90 days. So if you've watched previous episodes of mine and I tell you that, you want to watch for trends of cards, when you see a card trending in an upward trajectory like that, typically the other cards will follow. Take a look at some of Mike Evans' other cards. If his base Prism is trending in that direction, I think you're going to see a lot of his other cards, even with him being injured, you could see some of his other cards following suit. Now that's only a pop 244 because it's 2014, but I would not touch this card at $200, not up 160% in 90 days. That's here. Let's see what it is year over year. Year over year, it's up 385% from a year ago.
Wow.
Why? That's a sell alert. If you had a Mike Evans Prism base PSA 10 and you bought it in this range here, in that $50 to $75 range a year ago, and the most recent sale is $200, why is it still in your hands? It should be on eBay or something. That is just an insane rise. You love to see it if you own those cards. You hate to see it if you're trying to buy it to flip, because there's no money to be made on that card. But I do think with that Topps Chrome being all the way down to $45, that's where your niche is going to be. You're going to find these cards with some upside. Let's take a look at another very popular player from this year. He was injured. He came back, and now he's injured again. Jaden Daniels. Very popular pick amongst card collectors, right? So if you look at his base Prism, his base Prism in the last 30 days is up 11%. In 60 days, it's down 11%, and in 90 days, it's down 15%. But you see this uptick here. This is where he was injured and hurt, and then he announced that he was going to play this last weekend. And look what happened. Boom, boom. The last two sales, they've gone up and up. Well, now he's injured again, so I think this will come back down a little bit. But take a look at his silver ones. I think the silver is going to be where the buy takes place. So his silver is down 12% in the last 30 days. It's flat for 60. It's down 20% for 90 days. It's down to 927. That's still too much for a silver Prism for me. I don't think that card's worth it. I think that card could continue to fall. Let's take a look at his red Pandora ones, because I've done very well on several of these. So that's still holding not bad at $240, but so it's up 25% in the last 30 days. Down 19 and 60, down 30% and 90. But there again, in the last 30 days, that card was coming back up on the upward swing. I think if you're going to target this card, you want to target it down in that, 210, 200, 210, 215 range. And there's a chance that could go back up around 300. So anyways, there are some mid-season dips that are taking place, some buys to have. Typically, the lowest point for mid-season dips is the middle of November. So the dip is starting to occur now, and you're going to see the next 2 to 3 weeks, there are going to be some really good football buys to be had. But because PSA's turnaround times are so bad right now, unless it's a high-end card, I'm going to recommend that you buy the 10s and then hold them for the playoff run. So if you've got players that are either injured and they're coming back, or you've got players that you think they aren't performing real well, and now that you think they're going to make a late season run, those are the players to be getting into for the NFL. These are just a few that I wanted to bring to light that I think are at some pretty good lows right now. I've been watching Mike Evans, trying to get some nice Mike Evans rookie cards, and I just haven't sniped any yet because I've been trying to get them on the cheap, but I don't want to wait too long for him, because if he makes a comeback in the Bucs, I think the Buccaneers are going to make the playoffs and make some noise in the playoffs. So if he can get healthy and come back for the playoffs, that's a scary team when they're healthy.
Yeah. I think Emeka Egbuka would be target number one for a while, don't you think?
Well, yeah, Godwin seems like he is out indefinitely. So Taz Johnson is really going to be the, there's a guy that doesn't have much for football cards yet, but if you could find some Taz Johnson cards before he explodes here down the stretch, that might be a good play as well. So that's about all I have for this week. If we want to, we'll talk about, maybe next time around, we'll talk some basketball now that basketball season is up and running, but I'm just going to throw out a few names here for basketball for guys that you can watch for if you like. Here's kind of my players to watch this year, that the players that I'm speculating on. I think Sam Hauser, in a perfect position in Boston to have a solid year. You could really see Sam Hauser stuff spike this year. Alex Sarr, I think second year could have a good year. Same with Matas Buzelis, could have a good. I think I'm looking for him to make that next leap. We saw Amen Thompson do it last year. I think this year could be Oscar Thompson's year for his cards to take a nice spike and a leap. Tumani Kamara from Portland. He is going to be a name that you're going to hear a lot of, I think, this year. A lot of people probably are like, who is that? But he's in a perfect position right now. Benedict Mathurin, with Halliburton out, I think you're going to see Mathurin take that next step into a leadership type role. You're going to see him scoring more, leadership role more. I think you could really see his stuff take off. You saw Nebhard's stuff take off last year. I think Mathurin could be the guy this year that takes off on that Pacer team. Santi Aldama, another player that I think is going to have a good solid year this year. My sleeper pick, I just really like the situation. If you remember a couple of years, I called Simone Fontecchio, and everybody was like, who is that? And he turned out he's playing some pretty good ball right now. This guy's a little more well-known than that, but he's on a rotten Washington Wizards team. But I think that you could see him either this year or next year make a run as an NBA All-Star potentially, because he's going to put up some big numbers, and that's Cam Whitmore. I think Cam Whitmore is going to be a guy that I really like his game, and I think that in Washington he's in a position that they're going to let him make mistakes, and he's going to have a really long leash, and he's going to be allowed to take shots at will. So I think Cam Whitmore is kind of my sleeper pick of the year in terms of card prices. I think you could see a nice spike in his cards if I'm right. Kel'el Ware from Miami. He's a player that I think is going to really open up some eyes this year. Kevin Porter Jr., starting point guard for the Milwaukee Bucks. His cards are dirt cheap. I just bought a Silver Prism rookie on Fanatics Collect. I got it for $18 shipped to my vault. PSA 10 Silver Prism.
Wow.
If Bucks perform well this year and they let KPJ go down the stretch last year, I think the Bucks' downfall was Doc Rivers screwed that team up in the playoffs. They didn't play the players that got them where they got them last year, and I'm hoping that they realize their mistakes. But the fact that KPJ is going to be helping run that offense, I think he's going to absolutely explode this year. He's always been he was a hobby darling, and then he fell out of graces with some off the field trouble. But I like KPJ a lot. And then Trey Murphy, he was outstanding, got hurt. He's on a great team. I think Trey Murphy is going to be another player that you're going to really see have a nice year this year, and you can see really nice gains in his card prices. So those are some players to watch from my take on basketball. If I'm right, all of those players, I expect card prices to go up quite a bit this year if they take the leaps and bounds that I'm expecting them to take. So it's going to be a fun year to watch. We'll talk some more basketball next. For everybody watching, Bo and I were talking beforehand. Both of us are going to be unavailable in 2 weeks. So we will either let you all know it's going to be on a different day, or we're going to put it off and do it 3 weeks from today. So if you don't see us in 2 weeks, that is why. So we'll let everybody know. Appreciate you tuning in and watching. You got any questions, let us know. And good luck collecting, and we will see you all next time. You got any parting shots there, Bo?
My 23 magazine order from PSA has been in assembly now for 2.5 weeks.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm getting annoyed. But hopefully next show I'll be able to show you how I did. So, well,
speaking of PSA and frustrations, I finally have my first PSAs. I've been PSAs, like, it's a business. You got to understand. I've kind of been the calming waters. They really irritated me here. I sent them a 20 card submission to my vault. According to the tracking, it shows that they received it 2 weeks ago today. And they still have not acknowledged that they received it, and they have not put the cards in my vault. So they must be having some serious backlog problems at the vault in addition to PSA. The last 2 times I've sent to the vault, within a day of them getting it, they've received it. They've emailed me they received it. They put them in my vault, and I was able to either list them on eBay or take the eBay offers. I've got cards that were time sensitive, and now it's going to cost me money by them. I would have been better off just putting them on my own eBay platform, but seeing what they were offering for these cards, I thought if I can get them there, I even paid for overnight shipping to get them there quicker. So they were next day shipping because I wanted to cash in on those offers while they were there. Those offers are long gone. So it's going to cost me money now with PSA doing that. However, I do have an update. So my grading is still going. It's taking a while to get them checked in. But with the tips that I was doing, I've got an order that was a bulk order that I submitted on. So I submitted this order on August 7th, bulk order. It's already in Q&A. So it is estimated that it says estimated to receive this shipment back November 1st. So August 7th to November 1st, that's 10 weeks.
Yeah.
For a bulk order. So I can live with 10 weeks. I included a regular order with this, so it got checked in quicker. And that really helped. But I've got two others. So I've got one. So I did a regular order with a bulk order that I submitted. I submitted it on September 29th. Today is October 22nd, so 7 weeks ago. And that's already in assembly as well. So, it does help if you put a higher graded package in there. So I've got one order that I put in a high order. Let's see here. So 2 weeks ago I sent it in 2 weeks ago. I put in a higher order and it's already in research and ID, and they just received it 8 days ago.
Nice.
So they do open them up and they do go quicker when you've got those faster orders in there, because your bulk order they can't just leave the cards laying around. So all right, we'll leave you with those parting shots. We'll get a little cardboard rock stars here to exit us out, and we will see everybody next time.